Hello everyone, Bashar here. So I have finally broken my silence and started doing Path of Exile 2 videos. Next up we have, as you can probably tell from my notation, uh, Sanctum aka Trial of the Sekhemas guide. So we all do it when leveling for the ascendancy points, but does this place have an end game role? Uh, for those of you that don't know, right? It does have an end game role. It is actually sorry, uh, has quite a bit of a lucrative income in the way of relics and some other items that we will get to. So what to do. First of all, I would like to discuss the nature of the trial of the Sekhemas. So first of all, you put a barrier in, right? I have already done it, right? And can I show relic locker? Oh, not that one. Not that one. Okay. Okay, now it does. Okay, so you have a 5 by 4 rectangle with the bottom left and top right corners taken out, and the area is a little bit more limited at the beginning. As you keep doing the trials, more will unlock, so it will, I mean, at most it will take 18 spaces, right? Because it's a 5 by 4 rectangle and the two corners are taken out. 5 by 4 is 20. We take two corners out, it goes down to 18. And relics come in many different sizes. We have 1 by 2, 2 by 1, right? 1 by 3, 3 by 1, 1 by 4, 4 by 1, and 2 by 2. I think that's the list. Okay, so you have to make use of the space as best as you can. So these relics are extremely important and they are also pretty expensive. So I mean, they can be pretty expensive. So for example, a relic like this is pretty expensive. Movement speed and the quantity of relics dropped. Right? These can go up to, I should have some in the stash. One, yeah. And I have put a price on it, so you can probably tell how valuable they are. And this place is no joke, right? I didn't put it for fun or something, right? I mean, it might take a while, but it probably will sell at this price, or maybe a little lower, but around that level, right? 30 divine, guys, mighty valuable. So you do trial of Sekhemas and you hit something like this, and boom, right? Rich. So that's the cap: 10% movement speed and 20% increased quantity of relics drop. Another logical alternative to use is again quantity of relics, trap steal, reduce damage. That's a good one. So on to the nature of trial of Sekhemas, then we'll get back. So you start the trial of Sekhemas, right? And the barriers will have levels on them. 80 is cap, and the barriers level will decide what level the area will be, right? Of course, in the end game, it's advised to use the max level, that is 80. But if you are trying to get your fourth ascendancy, you need a level 75 one. And of course, following the path of least resistance, if you do not have your fourth ascendancy, and if you are not taking help from anyone like me, right? I like the challenge, so I struggle through it. Of course, using a level 75 is more advised until you get it. Then you should use level 80. So you use a level 80 barrier, right? You fill your relic source, which we will get back to, and then you start. There will be 4 floors. That's how the game terms it, right? 4 floors, each consisting of 8 rooms each. Right? So a total of 32 rooms have to be cleared at level 75 and higher. After 8 floors, you will face the boss of that floor, and you will move to the next one. There are multiple kinds of rooms. I'm sure you have seen them, but let me go over them. There are ritual rooms. These are the king, right? I mean, there will be some portals. There will be some skeletal fellas chanting around them. You kill the skeletal fellas, right, around each portal, and it's over. And the best one there is, I'm going to make a sale. I apologize. It's a 20 divine sale, and I guess this proves my point. So I should make the sale. So you know, you guys can see I'm not exaggerating. So 10% movement speed, 18% quantity, guys. 18%. It's not even a perfect one. And I am selling it for 20 divine, right before your very eyes. This is definitely not a paid actor at all. Okay, so no, I think that was good actually. No, it's actually maybe a little bit rude to interrupt my guide, but guys, sales are these days not very fast, and I don't want to miss out. And as you can see, these are, mighty valuable. So, what kind of rooms are there? There are ritual rooms, and the best ritual variant. So there are different variants. The most common one is 3 portals, 6 casters around them. You kill them, it's over. What's going on? What's going on? I'm not your guy. There is one with like 6 ones, 6 portals, and the best one is there is 1 portal and there is a rare out, right? You kill it and it's over, right? The room is over in less than 5 seconds or something. This is the most beautiful room of all by far. Then there are these escape rooms. You start next to a crystal, you click on the crystal, some little beams shoot out of the crystal in the direction of other crystals. You have to click on all of the crystals before the timer expires. This timer is, finding the first crystal is somewhat dangerous, but the layouts are limited, right? It's not absolutely random each time. There are certain layouts and you'll get used to them. And of course, movement speed is quite the king in Trial of the Sekhemas. So yeah, you'll make it. And one thing, guys, so I was trying to get my 4th ascendancy, and it was going rather good, and somehow I couldn't find the last crystal and I failed. And the thing is, it doesn't kill you when you fail, right? The timer runs out, don't think you're gonna die. It hits you rather hard, and also you take a lot of armor damage, but you don't die, right? And that's how I finished. It was on my dead eye, my main. That's how I got my ascendant. So something to know. Then we have the chalice trial. There is a blood chalice that you click on. You will have to kill all the rares to fill the chalice with their blood. That's how you pass. These are all nice. There are the hourglass trials. There is an hourglass. You click on it. A timer starts, 1.5 minutes or something, and every once and then a rare will spawn. And if you kill that rare, another rare will spawn immediately. And killing a rare shaves 15 seconds off that timer, so you can get this done in about 30 seconds or so with a proper character. So these are good as well. There is only one that is bad. The bad one is the gauntlet rooms, right? I'm sure we all hate it. These are the rooms with traps. They are rather long and painful, and it kind of makes you panic, right? For example, you walk into a trap, you get a little flurried, you walk into another, and your round fails, right? I have done this so many times, and that's where the trap damage reduction relics come in, right? And the thing is, guys, I have 2 setups, and in one setup I have 100% trap reduction. I just go into the trap and sit there, and nothing happens, right? Beautiful. So gauntlet rooms become trivial because gauntlet rooms feature only so little in the way of monsters. So you are immune to the traps. There are very few monsters. There is just no threat at all. Right? It's beautiful. That makes it quite easy. But of course, so you could use movement speed and quantity of relics, or you could use trap damage reduction and quantity of relics. So you have to give up the movement speed. So I can do it because this character, I have a guide on it. I have infinite mobility, and I am not really running at all, right? I'm running very little, so the loss of movement speed doesn't bother me. But of course, if you need the movement speed, then you have to find a fine balance. I would say even 50% damage reduction on the traps is mighty powerful, and you will be at least 70% or something. Very, very safe. There's that. We'll get to that. So, are there other kinds of rooms? Ritual, chalice. Escape. I think that's it. So when you go to a room, guys, there will be a reward and there will be an affliction. And sometimes even a boon. So boons are positive buffs that we get permanent, right? Or sometimes they expire on a condition, right? And there are afflictions that are negative stuff. You have to be very careful with those. Some of the nastiest ones can, I mean, you can make even a very safe and secure looking run fail. Have to be careful with them. So about the relics, guys, you obviously need to fill all the slots here, and our currency in the trial of Sekhemas is called honor, right? So we have our life and we have our energy shield and we have our mana. But thing is, with a normal character, it's almost impossible to really die. Right? It's not possible. But your honor can deplete, right? And honor, guys, I have noticed this very recently after playing for a long time. Your honor is your life, energy shield, and mana added up, right? So when I will go in there, right, I will have something along the lines of 6,500 honor. Why? Because I have 2,700 shield, I have almost 2,000 life, and I have something close to 2,000 mana, 2.7, 2, 4.7, 6.5 something, right? That's how it's calculated. So for example, guys, if your character doesn't have energy shield, right, mana is low, etc., your honor will be low, right? There is that, and there is a very important stat called honor resistance here, right? That means the damage that you take to your honor is reduced by that amount, right? And it's capped by 75%. And so, guys, I have 75%, 68% on the resistance, and I have more than 50% trap damage reduction, which means I'm going to be taking very low. So, for example, guys, a trap tries to hit me for 1,000 under damage, right? That gets reduced by 68%, goes down to 320, right? And then it gets further reduced by my trap damage reduction, so I will be taking maybe 150 or 140 damage, guys. Imagine I was supposed to take 1,000 and I take 140, and I will have 6,500, rendering that virtually useless. Right? I will not die to that, right, unless I screw up big time. So how to go, right? Generally, guys, unless you are a very firm believer in your abilities, try to dodge gauntlet ones, right? The trap ones, they are annoying. Because as I said, it can get you, it can trigger you, right? As I said, you make a mistake and you get a little panicked, you step on another, and there are some extremely nasty trap rooms, right? A lot of fire spewing thingies very close to each other. And also try to play a character with high mobility, because movement speed is king. So for example, you have to click on the crystals, you have to find the rares and kill them. And this character is the best in the game, right? I have a guide on it. It's the only recent guide I had. I mean, we have infinite mobility, the damage is high enough, survivability is also very high, therefore honor is high, right? So you should try to go for a combination that works for you. There are relics that give you more choices from the merchant, right? There is also the merchant among the rewards, so there are boons, afflictions, and there is the merchant. I didn't get to that. The currency for that this place is called Sacred Water, right? The monsters drop a little, right? But there are fountains at the end of certain rooms that give you Sacred Water. There are also large fountains that give you more, right? And you spend them at the trusty Balbala, who is our merchant also inside. There are quite a few good ones. There are minor and major boons. Major boons you will obtain very rarely, and they are mighty strong. I mean, the entire map is revealed, for example, or every room, the first hit that you take is ignored. That sort of mighty powerful stuff. You are immune to minor afflictions, sort of thing. Minor afflictions, I don't know about minor, they are pretty annoying. So guys, you have to go for stuff that is not a problem for your build. So for example, guys, I have no armor or no evasion, right? Almost no armor and no evasion at all. So guys, you have no armor. Big deal, right? I don't care. You have no evasion. That's all right? Or my damage is very good. Monsters have more HP. Sure. You are cursed by enfeeblement. 15% damage reduction. Sure, right? Monsters have more life. Right? I do not care about those. Because thing is, even if I get all the damage penalties to myself and they get all the damage bonus, one shot still, right? I don't care. So you have to take a look at those. And keep in mind, guys, you have no energy shield. Affliction is very dangerous because, for example, guys, I said I will have 6,500 armor, right? And I go into there, right? And I pick the no energy shield thingy. Boom, my armor drops to 3.8k. Because, it's a combination of my life shield and mana, right? And I drop my energy shield, so I lose 2,753 armor. Right? Very dangerous. Keep that in mind. I mean, this place deals very little damage, so losing the shield will not be a problem in terms of damage, right? But it will be a problem in terms of armor. So there are some afflictions that are extremely problematic earlier on, but they become a little bit more manageable. So the things that you should avoid with the passion is, whenever you take an affliction, you get another random affliction, extremely dangerous, right? Not good at all, especially early on, because there will be times that you will have to take, afflictions, randomly hitting something that's nasty can be very problematic. Reduced effect of your relics is very bad because you are trying to do something with your relics, and their effects being reduced by 50% means you will be taking much more trap damage. Your honor resistance will get lower, etc., etc. Very bad. So this one is a little bit low-key sinister. It doesn't look very bad, but it actually is pretty bad. You are not always taken to the room you select, right? So there are paths, and you just click on the room that you want to go to, and it sends you to another room, right? The thing with that is, when I first got that, I didn't mind because, it will happen every once and I will be able to handle it. The thing is, it doesn't happen every once and then. It does happen rather frequently. Maybe 50%. I don't know the exact amount, but it does happen all the time, and it will screw you eventually, right? Because imagine, guys, there is one room with a very nasty affliction that you don't want to do, right? And there is one room that you want to go, and it takes you to the room with the affliction, boom, right? I mean, of course, these become a little bit more manageable until the end. Same thing with less sacred water found, merchant offer fewer choices, merchant prices increase. These become kind of non-problematic at the end. There is another thing that I didn't mention. Some rooms will have some parameter modifiers. So you will finish the room, there will be some, not a shrine, but porch something. So you go there, you activate it, and it will give you 3 options, right? For example, the options will be, so you will always lose something and gain something. For example, it says lose this affliction, but also lose this boon, right? Lose this affliction or gain another random affliction, right? Or it could offer you grand stuff. For example, lose 3 afflictions and lose 3 boons. And there will be always alternatives. So these can be useful because we have a lot of options to do at the merchant, but there is no affliction removal. So I mean, if you somehow have gotten a nasty affliction, that is the way to go, right? Maybe you will be able to get rid of it because sometimes you don't care about the price. So the thing is, if your build does not get hit, and you shouldn't be getting hit, there are some modifiers that you can take. For example, whenever they hit you, you lose some sacred water. Whenever they hit you, you lose some energy shield, life and HP, life and mana. I know these are, of course, non-problematic afflictions that you could take. And as for the boons, I mean, the best one there is by far is, I mean, even better than the major boons, is the 30% increased effect of your relics. Right? So guys, let's take a look here. So this unique one doesn't count, we will get to that. So for example, guys, the under resistance that this gives goes up to 40 something percent. The traps deal 19% of damage, or everything gets improved, right? And the most important thing is this quantity of relics gets improved to 26%, right? And the thing is, guys, so why do we go for this? So first of all, during the trial, lots and lots and lots of relics will drop, right? And so for example, guys, I dumped them here, right? This is, I think, maybe 2 rounds worth, right? So I mean, a quad will feel like with 5 or 6 rounds, hundreds and hundreds of. And the extra important thing is, guys, the final boss always drops 1 unique relic, right? And your quantity increases this. So if you have, let's say, 100% quantity, you will always get 2 from the last boss. If you have 200% quantity, you will always get 3 relics from the last boss, and so on. And if you have, let's say, 180% quantity, you will get 3 relics, 4 out of 5 rounds, and 2 relics, 1 out of 5 rounds, right? That's how it works. And the thing is that 30% efficiency works there. So it's theoretically possible to get 4 from the last boss, right? Which is insane. So how is that achieved? So guys, you don't use this unique one. You just use 9 2x1 and 1x2 ones, right? With 20% quantity of relics. Let me show you. I mean, I already have them here, right? I mean, when I don't use this, which we will get to, as I said, I will just put 9 of these in, and I will have 108% quantity. And thing is, guys, let's say I have 108% quantity, right? And I find that boom, right? 180% gets improved by 30%, which is 54%, adds up to 234%. Which means when I kill the boss, 2/3 of the time I will get 3, and 1/3 of the time I will get 4. 4. It's insane, guys. So for example, guys, imagine you are doing this round without these. You will have to do 4 rounds to match that performance. You know, how much can I be slower by? So this works, right? It's a nice working strategy. But of course, that strategy, you might have guessed, features no honor resistance, so you have to play it properly, right? Or it will kill you. It's pretty dangerous. At first, I did die a little. So this one is for another setup. So the thing is, guys, what do we have as the price of this place, right? Because we normally do it for the ascendancy, and we don't come back normally, right? That's why I'm doing this series. This place is lucrative. So what do we have? So guys, I think we have 5 or 6 unique relics from here. Sadly, that is not even worth 1 exalted ore. Right? I mean, you get nothing, right? They are not worth picking up from the ground. That bad, right? And this is kind of everything. There are only 2 that are valuable. One of them is this, the one I had put in. You saw the vase relic, right? So what do these do? These make your run harder, but they make the last boss drop something, right? And they are the only source of that. So what this one makes is, guys, the last boss deals double damage, and the last boss receives 75% less damage, which means he's 4 times harder to kill, right? And it makes them drop against the darkness. It's a very, very famous jewel and a very end game item. I have been doing it. Sadly, you can't draw blank. Let me show you what I have. You will be able to see garbage, garbage, and garbage. So that vase relic, guys, costs a little above 2 divine. So the problem is it's extremely hard to buy it for 2 divine, right? But if you want, you can buy infinitely many at 3 divine. So you put that in. And of course, guys, the thing is, we have 18 spaces, right? That does take 4 spaces. So you lose out on 4 spaces of relics. And this is going a little bit all around the place, sort of, guys. Sad, I apologize, but whenever something occurs to me, I want to tell it to you guys. So guys, about the relic sizes, the ones that take up 4 spaces should not even be picked up from the ground. They are garbage. These are the incense relic, 1 by 4. There is the vase 4 by 1, right? And there is the coffer 2 by 2. These are not worth being picked up from the ground, right? The best ones are the smallest ones, funnily enough, and the medium-sized ones have some value. You have seen my default setup is just 9 1 by 2 and 2 by 1 ones, right? And so the 3 by 1 ones have the merchant synergy. So you can, for example, have 3 additional merchant choices and 10% merchant discount. You put two of those in, your life will become much easier. But I don't want to do that in my normal rounds because it makes me sacrifice quantity, and I don't want to sacrifice quantity. I just want to go for the full 180%, and if I can buff it to 234%. What about the round duration? So the round durations can be 20 minutes is a very good duration, right? But at first it would be more like 30-35 minutes, I guess, right? And thing is, guys, you should optimize it like this. First of all, the round should succeed, then the duration should be optimized. So when you're green, right, you take your time, you think about the pathing, what's the next room, will I get something very ugly in the next room? Okay, I should take that route then. And of course, guys, these all cut into your round time, right? But the problem is, when you die, 30 minutes gets wasted. It's better to waste one more and increase your chance of success much more. But after some point, it will become face roll, and you can do it faster. And of course, you still have to be careful, right? If you pick an extremely bad affliction, it can still go wrong. As I said, guys, imagine this is 32 floors, right? And on the third floor, you pick, when you gain an affliction, gain another. That's very, very nasty, right? It can go really bad. What else? So, and the grand prize, guys, I haven't talked about that. I said 2 of them are valuable. One of them is this. This is worth about 2.5 divine or something like that. And the grand prize is the incense relic, unique one, right? Normal ones is garbage. It's called the Last Flame, and it's brace for it if you don't know. It's about 500 divine. So, guys, funny thing: 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2 divine, 500 divine. That's how the distribution is, right? There is a unique seal relic, there is a unique tapestry relic, amphora relic. All of them are worth 0, right? Not even one exalted door. Then you jump to 2.5 divines, then you jump to 500 divines, right? And what that makes is, guys, it makes the last boss drop this beauty, right? Temporalis, which is a very, very unique item. It takes away a fixed amount of duration from your cooldowns. It's not percentage based. So, guys, for example, a 4-second ability can become a no cooldown ability. No cooldown ability is, of course, in practice. In theory, Temporalis is not allowed to bring the cooldown of a skill below 0.1 seconds, but you wouldn't be able to click faster than 0.1 seconds, so virtually it's more cooldown. I mean, let me show you my blink. I'm spamming it right now. I mean, as I said, in theory it is 0.1 second, but in practice it's just 0. So there's that. So any build featuring Temporalis is very good for here, right? And also about the Temporalis thingy, guys. I mean, before you get invested in it, the problem is that it forces an extremely harsh condition on you. It sets your honor to 1. The first hit that you take, you die. So there are ways to do it. I mean, if you guys are curious, let me just go over it very quickly. First of all, you pick 100% trap damage reduction from your relics, so you can step into traps with ease, but it's still very dangerous because a monster can hit you, and guys, that means 500 divines lost. So there is a rarely played ascendancy of Monk, right? Invoker is the popular one, and the other one is called Acolyte of Chayola, right? It's not very good, but the thing is, he features an ability called Darkness, and Darkness gives you a shield-like thing for like 800 HP. But what it does is it takes the damage before everything. So you have darkness up, right? And they hit you, you won't die. Right? So that's why, so that's how temporaries is farmed, if you ever want to get into it. There is that. Yeah. So the video is very much long enough, I would say. So I will do an example run in another video so you can see. And if you have questions, feel free to ask. I will see you in the next video and in the channel. Bye bye.